What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Love and Marriage DC reunion part 1. So first of all, y'all, so the episode started. We had Carlos going, from room to room, checking on everybody, and basically excited, ready for the reunion, all that good stuff. Monique said that she was really surprised that Winter was acting like they was BFF. She said, I've known her, but we ain't been friends. We ain't tight like that, so I ain't understand why she was carrying it the way she was carrying it, The Twixt, they were happy to be there, talk about the experience. DJ Twixt said he really had a good time. He really enjoyed doing the show. The Tylers, he was like, I got some hard questions for you, Jamie. And Jamie was like, I mean, that's cool, just be careful what you ask for. I'm gonna give you what you want, So then we start the episode off. Now let me say this. Y'all know I'm not the fashionista. I don't really do the whole reading down the fashions thing. But I will say this, and y'all know I do a lot of these shows and I do a lot of the reunions. I don't think anybody missed. Like, there have been times where I'll say, oh, well, that wasn't my style, or I didn't think it looked nice on her or him or whatever. But honestly, I think everybody pretty much got it right. And you could definitely see everybody's personal style. Monique's dress was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. Chris had the traditional tux. Now, Chris, if I was going to tweak anything, the only thing I would have tweaked, I feel like Chris maybe could have color coordinated with Monique. They always match anyway. If Chris had done something that was a little color coordinated to what Monique had on, but he still wasn't bad. He had the traditional bow tie tux, suit, whatever. He looked very nice. Ashley had this beautiful green dress. It had the feathers and the leg out. I was like, yes. Quick had a suit, and the color, it wasn't the exact match, but it was definitely a complementary color. It was like a blue green, more bluish than green, but it was like if a peacock, like that blue that's on peacocks, and then Ashley had that green. They looked nice. And then the Tylers, Urena had this gold, like yellowish gold with the high shoulders. That seemed to be her thing. I've noticed she does a lot with the shoulders. Is that your signature, Urena? Sometimes they be looking at my reviews, child. I feel like that's her signature. And then Jamie had on, again, a formal suit with a dinner jacket that had like a print on it. Again, complimentary to Urena. So I feel like everybody did that. I mean, even Carlos looked nice, and I shouldn't say even. Carlos usually looks nice. I shouldn't say it like that. But I mean, just the whole, I think, even when Winter came out, I liked Winter's look. I thought it was a red gown, and I thought she looked nice. So anyway, nobody got it wrong in the fashion design, in the fashion category for me. Now, let's get into this. We start with Monique and with Chris. And of course, we went straight into the marital issues and how that came off on camera. Now, Monique said that she was very honest with Carlos when he approached them about doing the show. She said, listen, me and Chris are not in a good space. Our marriage is not in a good space. So she was very honest with Carlos from the beginning. This wasn't something that was done for the cameras. It wasn't exaggerated for the cameras. They really were in that space. She said we weren't even really talking. And the one good thing about being, I think Chris said this part, the one good thing about being on the show was they had to talk to each other. And so I think that's why sometimes we did get that raw moment, because a lot of times that was the only time they were talking about their issues, because they really were not communicating. They were really in that space in that moment. Monique said that she doesn't apologize. She said her approach could have been better, but she doesn't apologize for what she said and how well, I guess if she said her approach could be better, she does apologize for how she said stuff. But she made a comment about how black women, the only time black women's feelings are acknowledged is if they're like crying. But when they're being decisive and they're being, very specific, then it's not really respected. Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say it's not respected, and I can't tell Monique how to feel. But I will say this. I do feel like, it goes back to that whole word about us being aggressive and almost like it's being used as a as a negative thing when it comes to black women. Like, it's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with being aggressive in certain things. I mean, men are encouraged to be aggressive. In sports, they're encouraged to be aggressive. In the workplace, they're encouraged to be aggressive. Hell, even with dating. When you find the one, you better go for it. When you see that girl in the club and she look good, you better go for it. Like, they're even encouraged to do that. But what I will say, in my opinion, this just me, I do think there's a way you talk to your significant other. Whether it's a woman, whether it's a man. Because later on in the episode, Quick and Jamie were having a conversation about how Jamie talks to Urena in public. And granted, Monique and Chris were private. Because, they were having these conversations privately. Well, other than a couple of, instances like the dinner party and stuff. I just think that's just me. And it goes both ways. It goes both ways. And I will say this, Monique did say she could have approached it better, so then I'm not really going to dwell on this, because Monique did say, hey, I could have approached it better. But that was really the main thing that they spoke on as far as their marriage and where they were. And Chris said that it helped to see himself play back, because he saw himself doing things that Monique has been complaining about, but he couldn't see it. When you're in something, you don't see it with the same point of view as people who are on the outside. And he said, seeing himself do it, he was able to be like, oh, that's what Monique is talking about. Now, the one thing I am going to say, and again, I'm on the outside looking at, I don't know these people. I think Chris is a little hard on himself, and I think Chris is taking a lot of the blame for where their marriage is. And I'm not saying he should or shouldn't, because again, I ain't there every day. But I don't know. I'm just a little cautious about him taking all of the blame. That's all I'm gonna say. Moving on. So then we moved over to, did we do the Taylors next? I think we did the Taylors next. Let me look at my notes. No, we did Ashley and Quick next. Now Ashley says the same thing, that she's very assertive in how she talks to Quick, and people have criticized her for it, but Ashley don't care. Ashley, like, that's my man. If he your man, you talk to him how you want to talk to him, but this is what we do. This is how we are. She talked about the fact that he is still working way too hard. He has not slowed down enough, or as much as the doctors would like, and certainly as much as she would like. He said that his hand is getting better with the gout and all that good stuff. But, I mean, we heard what the doctor said. Like, if you don't make some lifestyle changes and you don't make some serious adjustments, you're going to just prolong a bad situation. And if you need your hands to work, what frustrates me with men like Quick, it's almost to their own detriment. It's like, I know you hear the doctor and you heard what you wanted to hear, granted, but that this is your living. This is what you do. This is how you make your money. Now, at this point, Quick could never DJ again and still make money. I'm sure he has a company. I'm sure he has DJs that work for him. No, he's not DJ Quick, but you're getting that DJ Quick experience because I trained them. They are doing what I would do. So he is, he can create that moment, and then only kind of do VIP type events or whatever. But at the end of the day, what you need to do. And, your wife shouldn't have to fuss at you. Your doctor shouldn't have to fuss at you. But anyway, I went on around the road. I say this because, I love you, Quick. I want you to keep doing what I say. I love you like a person loves somebody that they don't know. But I want you to keep doing what you're doing. I want you to keep being successful. And I just think, especially black men, and we got into that conversation as well about black men and how they're really not allowed to be in their feelings. We have all done it. And when I say all, please don't that one person in the comments be like, I never did that. But I feel like most of us can say that either we have done it ourselves or we have seen it being done in our family. But we don't allow boys to sit in their emotions. Don't cry. Boys don't cry. You all right. You not hurt. I found myself doing it to my nephew. If he falls or something, I'm like, come on, you okay? You all right? You all right? And maybe he not. But I wouldn't do that to a girl. If my niece had fallen, I would pick her up. You okay, baby? You all right? So we all have to sort of catch ourselves because it starts at that young age. And like Quick said, you know, he lost his mother when he was young. He was shot when he was 13. His father died, I think he said, when he was 18. And he didn't cry. He was never taught that it was okay. And so he said that, you know, he has caught himself with his son because he wants to raise his son better than he was raised, which is what every parent's wish should be. And he said that he caught himself doing that with his son when he didn't make the basketball team. And, you know, but he said they had a moment where his son cried and he later on shed the tear. So I what I can say is it's a marathon and it's not a sprint. You know, it's hard to take away something you've been conditioned to do your whole life. And so now you're at a point where you realize, okay, I have to change this up and I have to do something a little different. So there's that. Moving on. What else did they talk about? Oh, Ashley got into where she is, and she talked about getting married young, sort of giving up her dreams, being Quick's cheerleader, not really having her life. She said, you know, we were 21 when we got married, you know, and my friends were still in college, and you know, I had to give up a lot. I didn't live a lot of that young life. And she said I would still marry him. I would have done it later. Like I probably wouldn't. She said if I had to do it over again, I would still marry him, but I wouldn't do it at 21. And you know, she said that when she did want to go back to class and go back to school and take classes, you know, and the class was at 3, and he'd be like, well, who gonna watch the kids? And she was like, I felt like that was very unfair, you know, because I basically gave up everything. And this is what I'm asking for. And she said, you know, that's kind of how the depression set in. And she said that she was diagnosed when her daughter, I believe, was born. But she felt like it had been going on for a couple of years. And she just spoke on that. And, you know, that a lot of it had to do with the fact that she felt like she gave up a lot for him. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to say congratulations to Ashley, because her book is pre-order. You can pre-order her book. So please, you guys, go check out her book. I'm going to order it. We're going to talk about it over here on the channel. It's called Do That Shit. And this is her living out her dreams and walking in her path, right? And Ashley, if you're watching this, girl, check your DMs, check your DMs, girl. Anyway, but no, real talk, I reached out to her, so, you know, whatever. Moving on, yeah, so that was that. So then we get to the Taylors, and, did I say Tyler earlier? Anyway, and with them, they spoke on, of course, what a lot of people have been talking about is Jamie and how he speaks to Urena. They talked about whether, you know, was he controlling, even to the point where people online were saying he was abusive. And she was saying, you know, early on in our relationship, I would say, yes, he was controlling. You know, he controlled our finances. You know, I basically just stayed at home and hung out with him. She said, but now I wouldn't say that. You know, she said, you know, and so Jamie was like, well, you know, yeah, I took over the finances because she was irresponsible with money. Like, that is what, you know, I did. He said, but but what you see is what I built that. You know, I created that. Now, I ain't like that, Jamie. Now, Jamie, you know, I like you and I be rocking with you, but I didn't like that. I didn't like that I created her. I don't like that. Did I help her become a better person? Did I help her learn how to handle her money? Did I help us grow together as a couple so that we could have what we have today? Yeah, sure. But I created her? I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all. And she said that he's not abusive. She said he don't put his hands on me, you know. And Jamie was like, listen, this is who I am. This is what I was raised to be like. You know, this. He said, I'm not making an excuse. This just is me. This is just who I am. And I feel like Jamie comes off like that's who he is with everybody. And again, I'm not making an excuse for him, but I feel like he's probably like that with his coworkers. He's probably like that with his friends. And he's certainly like that with his family. I feel like that is just his personality. And they've been together for 20-something years. So she has learned to deal with love, accept whatever that relationship is. That's just me. but it does on camera, and of course when you edit it a certain way and you only show certain things, absolutely it comes off a certain way. Quick did, sort of intervene when they were talking about how he was talking to Urena at that event when other people were around and he was yelling at her or whatever. And, he was like, but I wasn't paying attention to the fact that other people were around. And Quick was like, yeah, he was like, but I would never do that to Ashley in public. Like, and I felt like what he was saying was keep it behind closed doors. Going back to what I was saying about Monique and Chris, like, yeah, it's certain way, like when y'all argue, that's fine or whatever, but there's just certain things you should, in my opinion, you should or should not do to your significant other around other people, whether it's other family, whether it's friends, whether it's out in public, especially when you know that you are a public figure. Now, granted, when all that happened, the show hadn't started, but y'all were filming. Y'all were filming for the show. And people in the area know y'all. Y'all local celebrities. Now y'all more than local celebrities. But at the time, y'all was local celebrities, So, I understood what everybody was saying in that moment. But anyway, so that was the couple breakdown. So, child, then, Lord, they done bought Winter out. Child, Winter and Ashley went at it. And the whole gutter Barbie thing, I didn't like that. I didn't like the connotation that Winter was put on. Anytime you throw ghetto out at somebody, it is an insult to insinuate you are better than them, that they come from a place that you are elevated from. That is what that, to me, whenever somebody throws that out as an insult to somebody, oh, she ghetto, or that's a ghetto snipe, or that's a ghetto Barbie, what I hear, what translates in my brain is, oh, you think you better than me, oh, you think you come from a place that's elevated over where I am. That's what I hear. So when you were calling Ashley that and you were calling Urena that, like, that's exactly what you were saying about them, in my opinion. Then they got into the whole back and forth about they got into the whole relationship expert thing. And Monique said the same thing she said online. She was like, listen, girl, that's all I've ever known you as. And Winter even introduced herself as that. And Monique was like, yeah, like you even said it yourself. She was like, I know, but I just felt like I could not misrepresent, who I am. Like, I used to be that, but I'm not that anymore. I'm a minister. I'm a spiritual coach, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing, y'all. Let me say this. Anytime you do something and you go and you get a certification in it, that is what you are. You may not be practicing anymore, but that is what you are. I will always be a political scientist. I have a degree in political science. I will always be a historian. I have a degree in history, right? I'm a teacher. There's a part of me, no matter how far I get away from the classroom, there's a part of me that will always be that, because that is who I am. I went to school for it. I have degrees in it. I owe the government money because of it. Hopefully not for long. But that is what this is. That is what this is. And so I feel like that whole conversation back and forth was semantics. It was just a bunch of semantics. Like, Monique's not wrong for saying this is who you were, because that's who she's always known you to be. And if you have done other things and moved on to your career, that's fine. But it shouldn't have been that deep. Like, I don't feel like we should have had no 10, 15-minute conversation about whether you are a spiritual coach or a relationship coach. At the end of the day, I mean, if you don't do it no more, that's probably a good idea. Moving on. Anyway, so then they, of course, got into the back and forth about her and Ashley, and they got into the whole thing about the rumors. And Carlos asked her point blank, do you have receipts and proof that Jamie and Quick have cheated? At first, she kept arguing, I said it was a rumor. I never said it was true. But then at the end of this episode, now you're talking about something, yeah, you absolutely have proof, but you're not going to show it because you're not that kind of person. Then don't bring it up. Don't say it. If you're not going to present the receipts, because here's the thing, Jamie has a right to be able to defend himself, and Quick has a right to be able to defend himself. And if you're not going to put it out there and allow them to defend themselves and allow their wives to hear the proof, then don't talk about it. Don't talk about no rumors and what you heard, especially to let it go on this far. It'd be one thing if you threw it out there and you were like, yeah, I was just mad, whatever, and you let it go. But you are constantly pounding that. You were constantly pounding that. And that is a problem for me. I got a problem with that. But neither here nor there. That was this episode. They left us with the cliffhanger of Winter. Oh. This last part. I guess whoever Winter is dating now, he been talking shit. Because when I say Quick looked like he was about to jump over that couch. Now, and he kept calling dude a bitch. Now, he had to keep clearing up that he wasn't calling Winter a bitch. But he was calling that dude a bitch. And whatever it was, it must be something that they kind of know about. Because Chris was trying to get Quick to calm down. And Chris was like, yo, Quick, let the ladies handle that. And he was trying. Like, you could see that every ounce of his fun-sized body was trying his best to not go there. But eventually, he just blew. I mean, even Ashley was like, had her arm like this and was like, you know, I got this. But baby, I don't know who Winter new man is, but baby, Quick, you better not let Quick catch up with him on the side street somewhere down to the Baltimore, because baby, it's gonna be a problem. I'm just saying, it's gonna be a problem. Now I gotta find out who this man is. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.